Hi, I'm Tauni at Yoga 413, and today I'm going to be leading you in a total body yoga flow. We're going to spend quite a bit of time on the hips and hamstrings, especially in the beginning, but I'm still going to throw in a gentle twist and some opening for the chest and shoulders, so hopefully you'll just feel amazing when you're done. If you do, please consider hitting that subscribe button and sharing it with a friend. Let's get started. We're going to begin our class today on our backs, with knees bent, hands just resting on your midsection. I invite you to close your eyes. Begin to observe your breath. I invite you to some of your longest, deepest breaths of the day as you let go and arrive mentally onto your mat. Taking this time for you, I invite you to set a personal intention for your practice, and all intentions are welcome. Begin to open your eyes as you extend the left leg out, pulling that right knee in towards the chest. Start to drop that knee out to the side, and then coming back up. At your pace, as we begin to loosen up through the hip joint, and just checking in to see how you're feeling today. Let's do one more time out to the side. Then flex that right foot, place it above the left knee. Let's reach through, grab on behind that thigh as we come into our first hip stretch. Begin to extend the left leg straight or a straighter. It doesn't have to go all the way straight. Just feel your way slowly into the pose. Bringing it down, let's extend through the right leg and pull the left knee into the chest. And then again, just begin to drop that knee down gently to the side and lifting up. Using that hand for support. And then flex that left foot, place it above that right knee, coming into your figure four stretch. Begin to extend the right leg up, any amount, just feeling a nice little awakening all down the back of the leg. Hugging both knees into the chest this time. Gently rock side to side, or maybe some little circles there for your back massage. And then just roll to one side, help yourself up. We're going to come into a tabletop position, making sure those hips are right over those knees. Begin to walk the hands out for puppy dog pose, dropping the chest and the chin towards the mat. Extending and stretching through those arms. Begin to walk the hands back. And we're going to tuck the toes underneath and lift our hips up into downward facing dog. Gently begin to alternate bending your knees as you pedal out the feet. Feet hip distance apart, hands shoulder distance. We're going to bend both knees, press your chest back as you lift the hips up, really lengthening through the spine. And then slowly start to straighten those legs again, any amount. So if you're feeling a little tight today, you're always welcome to keep that slight bend in your knees. On your next breath, come forward into a plank. So drawing those shoulders over your wrist. As you exhale, lift those hips back up. Let's do that again. Just inhale, coming forward. Exhale, lifting back up. One more time. Begin to step the right foot to the outside of the right hand, and we're going to drop that left knee back to the mat. So you want to be sure your right heel is down. You're in a nice wide lunge. Pick those right toes up off the mat and start to drop that knee out to the side and lift. Again, really working on loosening up the hip joint here. Working our range of motion. Now we're going to drop that knee out to the side and hold it there. You're welcome to stay right here, or perhaps gently twist, placing that right hand on the knee, never forcing our body where it doesn't want to go. Begin to lift up and heel toe the foot in line with the hips. One hand on either side of the foot in this nice low lunge as you drop into your hip flexors. Begin to walk the hands back and pull the toes up off the mat for your half split. And then walk it forward. Again, straighten, pull it back. And come back forward. So alternating between our hips and our hamstrings. So some of you might enjoy coming all the way back here, dropping that hip towards the heel. That is an option. I personally am going to stay up. And now come into that half split and hold your stretch. Leaning forward, gazing forward. Begin to come back into that kneeling lunge. Tuck the back toe. Let's lift the knee off the mat. Staying right here on our fingertips. Gently twist, taking the right arm up for twisting lunge. Drawing that inner thigh in towards the belly. Bringing the hand down, rising up. Warrior lunge. Opening up to warrior two, dropping that back heel, gazing forward. Be sure that front knee is open, not collapsing in. Reverse warrior, reach that right arm back, lightly touching the back leg. Begin to straighten as you lift, setting up for triangle pose, reaching forward, placing the hand down onto the shin or even a block. And if it's comfortable, turn your gaze up towards that sky. Begin to lift up and rebend that knee for warrior two. We're going to go into our balancing posture of balancing half moon. Begin to lean forward, placing that hand on the mat as the back leg lifts. And I always keep a block handy if you need your hand on a block. Take it. Try to stack those hips one on top of the other. Begin to bend the right knee, step back for warrior two. Ooh, I lost my balance there. Straighten both legs, turning your toes forward, moving into our standing straddle, hinging forward from our hips, top of the head reaching for the mat. Taking the hands right underneath you, lift up halfway, begin to heel toe your feet in. We're going to go into a prayer squat. So feet are wider than hip distance as you lift up, keeping your back straight, dropping those hips. Taking the hands down, you're going to start to walk to the back of your mat and step into downward facing dog. Pause here, breathe. Beginning with that gentle flow, moving forward to plank. Exhale, lifting the hips up and back for down dog. 2 more times. Feeling those heels reach for the mat, even though they may never, ever touch. Stepping the left foot forward to the outside of that hand, dropping the back knee. Find that alignment, then lift the left toes off the mat and begin to drop out to the side and lift up. Out and up. Increasing our range of motion through that hip joint. So very important. Now hold that knee out to the side, and then you have your choice to stay or maybe place that left hand on the knee, guiding into that deeper stretch. Lifting up and heel toeing back in line with the hip. Find that kneeling lunge, feel that release in your hip flexors, and then gently begin to flow, straightening the leg, pulling the toes back for your half split, and exhale, come forward. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale forward. One more time. Moving into that half split where we hold. So again, I never ever want you to force, you're just finding that edge. Begin to walk those hands back forward, lift the back knee up into this into this lunge. And then begin to twist, taking the left hand up. Revolved lunge. Bringing the hand down, begin to lift up into crescent lunge. Bringing those biceps right by the ears, eyes forward. Opening to warrior 2, back heels down. Moving into our reverse warrior, stretching through that side body. And if that weight started to shift back, just re-bend into that forward knee. Begin to rise up as you straighten that forward leg, lengthen forward into triangle pose. With the inhale, we rise up. With the exhale, we sink into warrior 2. Setting up for balancing half moon, begin to gaze forward, lengthen. Taking that hand to the floor or a block. Typically, your thumb is in line with the pinky toe. And you want to be sure that arm is far enough out in front of you so you can lengthen your spine. It's harder to balance with it closer. Really extend like you're being pulled in all 4 directions. Begin to bend that knee. Transition to warrior 2. That one went a little bit better for me. Hopefully it did for you too. Lifting up, moving into our straddle, turning toes forward, hinge forward and fold. Reaching for the outsides of the feet. Bringing the hands underneath you as you begin to heel toe. And you come in how far you need to for that prayer squat. You're working to try to keep the heels down, but it's okay if they are up. Just do your best. It's really just about feeling, again, once into those hips, the inner thighs, and those core muscles are working. Almost there. Taking the hands down, walking to the front of your mat. Step back to downward facing dog. So we're going to lift our right leg up for one leg dog. Just pause here, take that stretch, lift it up. Draw the knee into the chest and then out to the side. We're going to lower into pigeon pose. So if this pose is not comfortable or accessible for you as we take it on down, you're more than welcome to do this pose from your back. Just holding onto the foot and knee, creating that same shape, but without the weight of the body. So pick that option that works best for you. A block under the hip is also helpful if you feel like you're rolling over onto one side. Begin to walk the hands back. And we're going to stay in this pigeon pose and see if you can lift away from the floor. Breathe, so maybe you're just on your fingertips. From here, see if you can bend the back foot. Again, these are options. Reach back, hand to foot, and maybe extend the arm. There's a lot of options here. You're welcome to stay right here. Some of you might be able to add a bind here. There's a lot of options, so just do what works best for you. Releasing from the pose, step back to down dog. Gently move, pedal it out. Maybe noticing the difference between the right and left sides. Extending the left leg up. As you exhale, come forward. Knee out to the side. Ankle towards that wrist, and find your pose. Again, so maybe pigeon works great for you on the other side, but this side you're like, you know what, I need to flip over. That's okay. Work your way into your pose. Finding that deep, steady breath. And with every exhale, let go and soften. Walking the hands up. Again, find your pose, this lifted pigeon position. So you're lifting away from that floor, bending that knee, perhaps. Grabbing that foot, find your pose. So we're really opening up into the quads, into the front of that thigh. Releasing, stepping back to down dog. Pedal it out. Again, any movement here that feels good. Begin to walk the feet forward. We're going to have a seat on our mats. Extend the left leg. That right knee is going to drop out to the side, foot to the inner thigh. Sit it up tall. Exhale, hinge over and fold. Begin to rise up, switching sides, extending, pulling that left knee in out to the side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lengthen into your pose. Walking the hands back as you rise up, extending those legs. We're going to reach forward, and you're going to start to roll down one vertebrae at a time. Feel the abs scoop in, and then hugging those knees into the chest. Moving into our spine twist. So we're going to keep the right knee in, pull it in towards the chest, and rather than dropping out to the side, we're going to drop across, connecting that right shoulder to the mat and perhaps turning your gaze down that right arm. Coming onto your back, switching sides, left knee in, and twist. Rolling onto your back. Let's hug those knees in one more time. One little massage here. Then placing the feet on the floor, dropping your knees wide for reclining butterfly. Closing those eyes. Breathing deeply. Letting go of anything that is still weighing on your mind today. Letting go of anything that's no longer serving you well. Moving into Shavasana as we extend our legs, arms at our sides, eyes closed. Find stillness, find peace, quiet. And I'll be back with you in just a moment. You're welcome to hit that pause button and stay as long as you'd like. Or if you're with me, begin to add the small movements. Begin to bend the knees, roll to your right side into this fetal position. Tell yourself thank you for just showing up on your mat and taking time for you. When you're ready, help yourself up to have a seat. Let's take one collective breath together in. Exhaling, hands to heart. From my heart to yours, namaste. Have a blessed day, and thanks again for joining me for class.